Hello folks and welcome back to All About Racing here, and we are here with AAR and for the Lauda tier. We're in round 6 now and we are in Spain. So looking on the length of this track, 4.1657 kilometres. The length of the circuit is 2.894 in miles. Turns, there is 14 turns, 2 DRS zones, and we're going to be having 33 laps of racing. The tyres we're going to be using is the hardest of the bunch, the C3 soft, the C2 mediums and the C1 hard compound tyres. We'll look on at the driver's standings right now. We've got Onsu, who is in the lead on 58 points. Then we've got XD Pro in second on 44 points, Mr. Formula 1 in third on 42 points. Then we've got Lewis on 36 points. Then Mel Dave in fifth on 34, tying with I Fishers. Now we've got King 5 Panda behind that in seventh on 27 points, and Archie on 26 just behind that. And there's actually 3 drivers on 26 points right now. That's Archie, Czech and Steve. So all tying for that 8th plus 1 point behind that. And 11th is Atsu with 25 points. Chuck Norris on 22 in 12th. Then we've got 21 points for Tiny in 13th. Ricky Maru's on 19 in 14th. 15th for Ryanair on 18th. 16th for Apple on in 16th as well. Ricky Maru on 10. And then we'll just get further down to Mitchie on 9 points, 8 points for Operator and Stringy B on 8 points also. And it goes right further down with the reserve drivers also. So it's also good in that sense, keeping track of how the reserve drivers are doing. Looking on right now who's going to be the first one on a lap. We've got Benji Bucket. We'll just go on board with the McLaren as he's just coming into turn 1. And while we watch this McLaren fly around the track and get a little bit out of shape as they're going around turn 3, taking too much of that apex curb there on the inside. Sometimes you don't want to be too much on the curb in these games because some of them are a bit treacherous, I will say, in some cases. I think this curb isn't really one you want to hit. You want to be able to extend out there at turn 8 and turn 9, being careful on that apex curve on the inside. And then we'll go to the DRS wide open. But right now, we quick look at the constructor standings. We've got Williams in the lead on 108, then it's Ferrari on 75, and third is Sauber on 60, Red Bull on 58, and fourth V-Carb on 5 and fifth on 51 points, McLaren on 46, Alpine are in 7th on 44 points, Haas with 38 points, then we've got Mercedes on 32 and 9th, and at the back of the pack we've got Aston Martin. We'll have a little look. We've seen Benji Bucket get a 113.893, and then Lewis came across the line and beat that with a 113.698, and Ricky Maru in the Sauber just put in a 112.5, absolutely demolishing the rest of the times right now. And we've seen I Fisher's usually quite a quick one, so to be a second quicker, that is incredible. We've seen drives right off track there. Steve unfortunately invalidating their lap. We'll see Panda in the Haas. They're just coming up to turn 7 now. Taking a lot of apex there, and that definitely slowed him down. He wasn't able to carry the momentum that he needed. Up and around turn 9, you could pretty much full book it right around there if you could hit the right line. Now to turn 12. And then we've got this long right-hander of turn 13. I do love the modification that they did make and getting rid of that chicane after turn 13. It was absolutely crap, to say the least. It wasn't the best. Stringy not on a lap, neither Steve. I think that's all the drivers for now that have done a lap. So we've had 10 drivers all set laps, and the quickest one up to now is Ricky Maru on a 1:12.5. Yep, we've seen Mr. Formula 1 and Lloyd in the chat saying, let's go. Guess you guys are happy about tonight anyway. Looking on Stringy B. Not going into hot lap, just using that medium. We'll put in a 1:16.1 there on the route lap. Let's see, Brad Races on a lap, they're just up ahead. We'll stay on board with Stringy as they're coming around at turn 3. They are on the medium compound tyres, which is usually kind of odd, what we see, but right now they're 3/10 up on their time. And I don't think there's going to be... that's not too much in Sector 1, but of course we have got Sector 2 and 3 still to come, and of course I do suspect that he was a little slower, considering he put in the 1:16.1 in Sector 2 and 3, but now we're coming up to the end of Sector 2, he's a second quicker, and if he keeps this up he could end up putting in a 1:14 quite easily here. Now he's got plenty of that energy store ERS still to use. There's plenty there, and I'm actually surprised he didn't use any more of it than what he actually used, but still puts in a 1:14.8. So it keeps him in the same place as 12th position. All those joining right now, welcome along. We're 7 minutes into Q1. You see Ricky Maru's got the quickest time, 1:12.5. Still almost 7/10 quicker. We see Brad Races there, puts... was it Brad Races? No, it was Mr. Formula 1, my mistake. A 1:13.283, 7 thousandths of a second quicker than Atsu there. So managed to just steal that 4th place by the slimmest of margins. Oh, Brad Race is going right out wide there. I think you will be boxing this lap. Oh, we'll see Floyd there in the other Haas, he's on a lap. We'll see how the Haas is going as it came around turn 4 into the 180 degree U-turn of turn 5, and then as it goes downhill for turn 6, and then back up the hill here for 7 and 8. And as they come around turn 9, is there going to be a lift? Oh, just seen the slightest of lifts, but managed to still keep it pretty much flat down. Now to turn 10, not using that battery anymore. Must be recharging. Davy Norris, is that Chuck Norris? That would be interesting to know. Let me know, guys. Anyone in the chat? Suspect Jay might be there. Maybe they'll be able to tell us and let me know. We've seen Floyd putting a 1:14.429. Are they on a lap now? Yep, they are, as they're coming around at turn 3. We'll go back down to Davy Norris now, who's just coming around at turn 12. So Davy Norris puts in a 1:13.374. It's good enough for 8th place for now. That could all change though. Buckle, oh, getting right out of shape, just manages to keep it within track limits there. And I think that would have ended up invalidating his lap for the next lap, but manages to just keep it going He's only putting a 1:15.9. It's not a quick time just yet. That was just an out lap. Floyd 1:13.761, so did improve there. Let's look at Steve, who's on a lap. He's one of the drivers still yet to set a time coming into turn 1. And 2 and 3 now. This big, long right-hander, and then all the way to turn 4. Now being careful on the exit, not wanting to get too deep and dip a toe onto the grass. Around turn 5, using as much of that curb as possible, still managing to keep a couple of tyres within the white lines. As you do know that if you go across them white lines, it does end up invalidating your lap. Now around turn 9, the flat out right-hander, and Benji is retired from the session, thinking he's going to be good enough to get through. We know one person who isn't going to be getting through, and that's going to be Butler, who's going to be starting down in 19th. So let's see, Steve 1:14.143. He's just a bit off of Thatcher's, and that could change. Is Stringy are they on a lap? Nope, neither's Buckle. We've seen Night Flash, one of our reserves tonight, I think, and we've not seen him before, but right now coming around the final corner, and we'll stay on board with Mercedes and see how they're going to do if we're doing this one and done lap. We'll look at the tyres, the best tyres. Fisher's putting in 3 laps on the mediums. Quite a few drivers actually on the medium tyres. Now Night Flash and that Mercedes coming through turn 3 up to turn 4, where it's going to be the end of sector 1 at 22.907. And he's not using that battery anymore, so he's decided to hold off, maybe not getting the best sector ones that they would have wanted. Is Trucker on a lap? Nope, Trucker is not on a lap. Atsu, nope. So good few drivers not on the laps at the moment. Sorry about that, folks. Was just reading something. Kingfi Panda in second place now, 112.9. We'll just keep an eye on them and see if they're going to be lagging, and they are a little. So give me just a moment so I could just get on board with a driver who's on a lap. Steve on a lap. Now just give me a moment. Here we see Thatcher's in that Alpine right on the cusp of being eliminated here in Q1. They're only sitting a tenth off being, less than a tenth off being eliminated. How are they going to do? Let's see, as they're coming up 7 and 8 now. Being careful not to hit them curbs there, as we do know that they can be quite treacherous. Getting a little bit out of shape there, coming out of turn 9 into 10. How are they doing on their time? They're down by 5 tenths. He's trying to push it as much as possible here, but I don't think he's going to get improvement. Nope. Slower even in Sector 3, unfortunately. We've got Floyd, who's in 13th place right now, and possibly it could be in the realm of being eliminated from Q1. Well, one of the drivers who won't be moving on, but we'll see how things are going to go. He's just coming around turn 9. Now we'll see that rear wing of that Haas open right up, reducing the drag as much as possible, so less air resistance, meaning that the car could go faster, in simplest terms really. Now coming around turn 13 and up to 14, going flat out there through both corners there, nicely done. Goes fifth, a 1:13.180, smashing time there from the Haas driver. We'll go further down, we'll see his Thatchers on the lap. Nope, they're bailing into the pits, that's them done. So Thatchers will be eliminated in Q1. Oh, and who was that? What Williams was that? Was that Onsu? I think that was Onsu just coming flying in the pits there. We'll see. Oh no, that was Rhino Hussey. So Benji close to being eliminated right now. We've got Trucker who's on a lap, just coming around turn 9 now. Right, give me 2 seconds, need to go and invite. There we go, sorry about that folks. I have to go and give King Panda a little bit of an invite there. Now, let's have a look. Trucker's still sitting on the cusp. We'll look further down, see who's going to be close. Buckle is not managing to get the times in at 1:14.4. Can they improve? We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. That would think that was Davy Norris getting out the way. Or is actually low on fuel, maybe. No, they're not low on fuel. Just going to focus on this. These little ones at the back. Steve, are they going to improve? Maybe going to get a little bit of a slipstream there. Moves up into 13th place, so it's going to be safe for now. We've got Trucker coming around the final corner. Are they going to do better on their time? Coming across the line is going to be a 1:14.779. Oh, now it's all down to Buckle. If he can improve on his time, but he's going to have to improve by 9/10 of a second. We'll see if we can get that back up. And he's only improved by just over a quarter of a second. Now coming into turn 13 here, going flat out as much as possible. And into the final corner, we see that little lift there as they're coming around the apex. And comes across the line only 3/10 quicker, a 1:14.180, and they will be getting eliminated from qualifying and will not be moving on to the next stage of qualifying. And here we are, folks, in the second of 3 qualifying sessions. We've got Ricky Maru, who is the first one out on track, and is going to be the first one to settle up. But King Panda right up the tail of that Silver, and it's going to be King Panda that's going to be the first one to settle up, it seems. Wanting to get on with this a little bit. Now we'll stay on board with King Panda and see how their lap is going to do. See if they're going to manage to get a quick time in, just like last qualifying session. Now, didn't use too much of the track on the exit of turn 14, just like we see Ricky Maru did there. Now coming into turn 1, we just see that Silver in the background, just going across the crest. Around turns 1, 2, and now 3, being very careful, not wanting to get that tail end hopping out and trying to get ahead of the car. Now into 4, not using so much track on the exit there. This is not going to be a particularly quick lap, I don't think. But then again, I have been wrong in the past. Into turns 7 and 8 now. And around 9, keeping it flat out there. And before he's even finished the corner, he's already using more of that ERS and squeezing every bit of life out of it and wringing it like a sponge. Around turn 12 now. Just the flat out 13, they should be flat out all the way to the end. Now, there we go, herring it around that final corner, and I think he may have a bit too much downforce in that car, but he puts in a 113.6, and Ricky Maru smashes his previous time of a 112.5 by almost quarter of a second. Incredible time there, a 112.261. And I think the drivers out there, the racers, are going to have to watch out for that Silver. And you don't have much problem seeing it up in front if this is going to carry on to the race. Atsu in the Red Bull coming now. I think that's Steve or Fisher's just come across the line there, and Aston Martin anyway. And you see Atsu 112.8, still half a second off of over half a second on Ricky Maru. Now we'll go further down and see who was that just crossed the line there. That was a Red Bull, I think. That was an RB of Mr. Formula 1. Now let's see, Steve. We've seen in the chat earlier that he was that the setup he's got on is not the quickest. I think he accidentally put in the wrong setup. Now Steve coming through the final couple of corners of this track. Oh, just managing to keep it within the white lines there. Goes 8th at 113.381. We've got Lewis, who was in second place in the previous qualifying session, got the second fastest time, and was only a quarter of a second off the time that Ricky Maru had set in that Silver, 112.5. Now Lewis coming around the final corner. What time are they going to be able to put on the board? It's going to be a 113.591. Not as impressive as their previous lap in Q1. Of course, who's going to be up next? It's going to be Onsu in that Williams. As you see, the Haas of Floyd just behind, starting their lap. Now let's see how this Williams driver is going to do. They're leading the championship right now. So we'll see if they've got what it takes to continue that momentum onto the next round. Coming into turn 7 and 8, the S section. Now let's see if they're going to be going flat out around turn 9, and yes they are. DRS wide open before braking hard into turn 10. Now around 12 and now 13, and they should be keeping it flat out all the way around turns 13 and 14, which they do. To the line, it's going to be a 112.422. I think Ricky Maru could easily just retire from the race for now, from the Q2. Now let's see, who have we got up next? We've got Davy Norris just coming around turn 4 there, touching that curve there on the outside, and now going over the curves and using them as much as possible at turn 5, but be careful you don't get on the power too much. Around 7 and 8 into 9 now. It doesn't keep it flat, so things could possibly put a bit more welly down to get that and carry that momentum along to turn 10. Now let's see how the Silver driver is going to do as they're coming around turn 13 now. Just one more corner to go. Have they got what it takes to manage to put it into Q3? And nope, 113.840. So still over half a second off the time that he needs to get into the next stage of qualifying. Is Benji finished a lap or not? We've seen Brad Races there putting a 112.265, 4 thousandths of a second off of Ricky Maru. Incredible there. Did just miss that, unfortunately. There's Night Flash on a lap, I'm sure. I think a lot of these drivers are not on the laps right now, and they're going to be being a little bit quiet soon. Benji Bucket is on a lap though, Onsu feeling comfortable in that third place right now. Just decides to get out of the car and get a little bit of fresh air, maybe. But right now, he's only got about 7 minutes before Q3 will start. Benji comes to the line at 112.660, almost 3/10 quicker than his previous time. So I think that may be a good sign to keep him in. We've seen who's that is King Phi Panda just starting their lap. Ricky Maru comfortable also with his 112.261. And also, did just remember there, you're probably wondering where my colleague is right now, but unfortunately he was unable to attend due to having to help out with something. But yep, you're stuck with me, unfortunately, for you guys, maybe. But right now, let's see who is up next. We've got Trucker in the Mercedes, currently sitting bottom right now in 15th place. Have they got what it takes to manage to pull it out the bag and get a good lap in? Coming around turn 3, coming up to the end of sector 1 now. Let's see if they're up on their time. Yep, up by 2 tenths. They're going to be able to carry that momentum through and keep getting at least 2 to 3 tenths quicker each sector, as that will manage to at least get them up into 10th maybe. Hopefully get that 1 minute 12. If he gets that, then he could easily get into Q3. Benji retiring from the Grand Prix. And they're feeling that they've had enough of, not the Grand Prix, of Q2, sorry, my mistake. Trucker now coming around turn 12. We'll see how well this Mercedes driver is going to do. Are they going to be able to carry that momentum from sector 1 all the way around to the finish line, where they'll finish their lap 1:12, 1:13.360. It just wasn't enough. They're good enough for 12th place right now. If they, unsure, I don't think they'll be able to get around and get another lap in unless they save that battery and go again. But of course, I think they're already going straight away for a second lap. We've seen a few drivers still in the pits right now, and they'll be away to get ready for their final laps, like we see Atsu and Rhino. We'll go further up right now. Fisher's coming to the line. Time are they going to be able to put in? They go fourth with a 1:12.432. Panda getting off the racing line there. What was that? Does the driver off the track then? No, I didn't. Lotus coming to the line for their final time. Let's see what time they're going to put on. 1:12.712. That's good enough for 8th place right now. Atsu, they're on a lap right now, just coming around turn 3. We'll go further down and see who else is on a lap. We've got Davy Norris, who is still sitting at the bottom. Let's see, they're going to be able to put in a good time. Nope, 1:13.420. Just does go quicker on their time, but not by enough. Atsu, we'll have a little watch of them as they're coming around turn 9 now. Oh, using up the whole curb there on the exit of turn 9 into turn 10. We'll say this. Oh, big correction there for Atsu. And that's it, he's bailed out of that lap. And we've just got a couple of drivers still to go. Is he going to be charging that battery for another go? Nope, he's just jumping it into the pits. But overextending a little, and he's now having to do a whole lot with faster drivers just coming whizzing past. And Rhino, I say, has actually spun out there. And they are going to need to try and save that battery quickly. Oh, but the front nose is broke also, so Night Flash could actually get through here. Steve and Davy Norris, how are they going to be doing? Oh god. Oh, Davy Norris is unfortunately invalidated and is now jumping into the pits. Floyd retires. Steve just coming around turn 5. We look further up. We'll see Rhino Hussey jumping into the pits. Night Flash coming around turn 13. And now into 14. Have to go what it takes to be able to move up a space or two in order to get into Q3. They put in the time of 1:12.413. Smashes it. And now Atsu is on the cusp. And are they going to be eliminated? Only one person can decide that fate. And that is going to be the Aston Martin driver of Steve. That number 5 there. Seen it before. And we're not going to see it again in this session until the race, unfortunately. There we go, folks. We're just waiting for the Red Bull of Atsu. Just getting wheeled back into the garage. And there we have it, folks. That is the end of Q2. Ricky Maru getting the fastest time of 1:12.261, but Brad Race is 0.04 of a second just behind Night Flash in third. Managing to get real close to the back of them too. Same with Onsu, and I Fisher's just behind in fourth and fifth. Then we've got Lewis in sixth, still quite close, 2/10 within the top six there, quarter of a second for seventh. Then we've got Mr. Formula One, who is in 8th, Benji Bucket, 9th and 10th for Atsu. Then we had Rhino Hussey, Steve Floyd, Trucker, and Davey Norris, all down in 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, and they will be starting the race in their respective positions. And now we're moving on to the final stage of qualifying. It's going to be a 12-minute session, 10 drivers. Who is going to be on pole position if things are going the way they are from Q1 and 2. Maybe Ricky Maru is going to be getting that pole position, but then again, Brad Races was showing quite quick pace in Q2. Only 0.04 of a second off, and we see, is that Ricky Maru going again? Yep, first driver out on track. And the Lauda seems to have not really had a chance, as well, when he goes on his final lap, we'll sit on board with the silver driver and see how their lap goes. Sorry about that, folks, just reading chat. Anyone who is watching live right now, feel free to throw a comment in, or if you have not subscribed yet, hey, if you like the content, give it a sub. If not, that's okay. Ricky Maru, though, going to be the first driver up. Let's see how they're going to be doing. Just getting them tyres warmed up and nice and hot. Getting nice and toasty, I'll say. That's what I would normally say anyway. Now, into turn 12, and we've got to get a good launch from here, as there is no braking until turn 1 at the opposite end of the track. And now we'll see flat out that silver. And now we'll just go on board and watch this lap. Oh, and he got right out of shape there, taking too much carb at turns 1 and 2. And that unsettled the car quite a bit. And he's going to be taking it slow and going again on another lap. Brad Riss is just coming out of the pits there to start a lap. Oh, that's the McLaren of Brad Riss's. Alright, they were just getting out of the way. We'll move further down and see who is going to be next up. It's going to be Onsu. He's coming around turn 9 now. That DRS and that battery to their fullest effect around turns 10 and 11, which is basically just one corner really anyway. Into 12. And now 13, flat out all the way to the line now. Using that battery all the way around that corner while not lifting. Insane. Puts in a 112.156. This track is really ramping up. We'll see Ricky Maru if they're going to be able to improve on what they've done the last time. And it looks like they managed to do it. We're seeing other times coming in of Benji Bucket 112.674, I Fisher's 112.189, then we've got King Phi Panda 118.5 1:04.6, so must have messed up their lap before. Atsu jumped into the pits, not managing to do a significant lap. Ricky Maru's going to be the next one up again, as they're doing a second flying lap after messing up the previous lap and getting the car a little bit unsettled as they were going through turns 1 and 2. Now let's see how Ricky Maru's going to do as they're coming around the final corner to the line. A 1:11.870. Holy, that is not what I expected at all. Brad Race is the only other competitor that was able to put up a challenge, and drifting it around turns 10 there and 11. And I think he's going to be jumping into the pits. Is he? Yep. That is unfortunate, but sometimes these things happen. I've done it myself, went and bottled it right into a wall during qualifying, just pushing way too hard and then ended up having to start from the back. Story of my life. But Night Flash, our newest driver on the grid. They're going to be doing this. They're coming around turns 1 and 2 and now into 3. We'll say that the recent changes to this track are a lot better. Well, kinda. I mean, turn 10 and 11, not the biggest fan of that. Prefer the previous way, with it being a hard braking zone in order to try and encourage the overtaking, but the sector 3 I would say is a lot better with turns 13 and 14 going back to the original layout. Now 51.271 going into sector 2, going into sector 3 there, and the end of sector 2. Now around turn 12 and 13, still got plenty of that battery to go. Just use it all up on the run down to the line. Just managing to keep it within track limits. 1:12.732. Good enough for 6th place at the moment. We'll see. Atsu's just starting a lap. We've got Mr. Formula 1 who's down in turn 5 right now. We'll see how the V-Car Racing Bulls RB car is going to do. Seeing quite plenty of lockups here today with these folks. Now let's see Mr. Formula 1 to the line. Goes second, 1:12.153. It's not good enough for that P1 just yet. Still just under 3/10 off that time. And further down, Night Flash jumping into the pits. Atsu though, only driver who's still on a lap to the line, the 1:12.629, good enough for 5th place. And now we're going to be having a couple of moments quiet. There's not going to be much on this. These drivers will be jumping back to the pits in order to get a lap in. But we've got Brad Races, who was 4,000ths of a second off of Ricky Maru in Q2. Let's see if he's going to emulate that or is he going to beat it. We'll soon find out. He's coming into turn 1, braking just before that 50-metre board and flinging it into turns 1 and 2. Now being steady, keeping the wheel as steady as possible, braking just to that 50-metre board for turn 4. We're loosening up the steering ever so gently on the exit. Nicely done, using up the whole track as much as possible into 7 and 8. You want to carry that momentum as much as possible as you go up the hill into turn 9. Now 10, big walk up there from Brad, and that is definitely going to cost him a few tenths anyway. Well, a couple of tenths. Now into 12 and 13 now. You've seen a couple of drivers jumping back out onto the track. And now across the line times, you're going to be able to put in the board the 112.354. Take it, folks. Now, let's see who's going to be the next driver up. Is it going to be King 5 Panda or iFisher? Oh, I just seen that. They're looking up at the sky. It's getting a little bit cloudy. Is that going to carry through to the race? I wonder. I think that is going to be carrying through. It is going to be rain. King Panda, 112.426, in the 6th place. Night Flash just on a second warm-up lap, it seems. Brad Racers into the pits. We've got iFisher just coming down into turn 12, and that says that he's purple in sector 2. We're unsure about that right now, but we'll soon find out if it was. Now into turns 13 and now 14. Oh, Brad just retiring in the pits. iFishers goes second, 112.096. Still not enough to get into that 111 margin yet. But we'll see Night Flash when they have a go. Lewis right now on a lap. It's currently sitting in 10th position. 112.764. Let's see, has he got what it takes to beat that? We will soon find out. Night Flash just starting their lap, and Ricky Maru just going again. We'll see how they're going to do in a few moments. We'll keep it on with Lewis right now, who's just coming through the start of sector 2 now. Oh, and that's what it was meaning, folks. Being careful on the curbs. Oh, big lock up from that car ahead from... Who was that? That was iFishers. Are they on a lap? Oh, they're going again, are they? Don't think they've got the fuel though. Nope, they're jumping into the pits. Oh, that was close. Almost broke their wheel there on the pit wall. Now Lewis across the line, 112.942. That's not good enough to improve any. Atsu, what time are they going to be able to put in? Improve, but improve not enough. 112.492. Night Flash, how are they going to do it? They go P6 with a 112.392. Mr. Formula 1 next up goes second, 111.919. The only other driver who's going to be able to get into the 111s. Let's see how Ricky Maru's going to do it. And they improve again. I don't think it was by much, but that was enough to improve. Yep, so he improved by 200ths of a second, just over that. But Ricky Maru getting the fastest lap of 111.847. The closest time was just under a tenth off, and that was Mr. Formula 1 in that RB. Onsu is going to be starting on row 2 next to iFishers. In third and fourth, Brad Races. In fifth, sixth was Night Flash, King Panda, and Atsu in seventh and eighth. Then we've got Benji Bucket in ninth and Lewis in 10th. And that is the end of qualifying. and we're going to be, I think, possibly, are we going to be having a little break, I think, if I remember right. Yep, so we're just waiting right now, and I think we'll be having a little 5 minute break for a moment. Yep, so I'll be back with you folks in a few moments. Right now, we'll just keep this up here, and that way you could watch and see what the top 14 are going to be doing. And we'll be back in about 4 minutes' time. Oh, and here we go, folks. We are just about to get ready. We're just doing a little formation lap. We see a lot of drivers there at the front on the mediums and the hards, all the way down to 15th. We see the top 3 all on mediums. Now we've got a hards of Fisher, the double 5th and 6th are sitting on the medium tyres. King 5 Panda on the hards, and then we've got the 5 just behind him, all the way between 8th and 12th, all on the medium tyres. And we've got 3 hards, Floyd, Tucker and Davey on them hard compound, and this is where we see it get interesting. Buckle, I don't think he's in the lobby, unfortunately, so he's on the softs. Thatcher is in, and they are on the softs. Stringy on the hards. Unfortunately, trying to get them tyres warmed up. Maybe getting them warmed up a little too much. Butler now in Alpine. And Mel Dave did manage to get the Red Bull, so that is awesome news there. So we will have a full grid of 20 here. Now we'll just wait for the drivers to all get lined up on the grid. And we see Ricky Maru there looking over to the right hand side in order to defend. Everyone else starting to line up just nice and steady. And here we go, we're just seeing the last of the drivers come around the final corner. Just waiting for these guys to get all lined up and now get ready to race. 33 laps of racing here now, folks. We've got 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we've got a terrible camber angle, but we are away here in Spain for round 6. Looking on right now, we'll have a wee quick look. We'll change it to there. Brad managed to get a great start there, moving up a position. Looking on right now, we've seen Onsu trying to go up the outside of Mr. Formula 1, but doesn't manage to get far enough alongside. And as we're looking further back there, we're seeing the Ferrari of Lewis and Steve there starting to go side by side. And, oh, that's the Red Bulls battling it out there between Atsu and Mel Dave. Mel Dave's already up 2 places. King 5 Panda down 12 places. Having a terrible start to this Grand Prix. Looking on right now, we're seeing the Red Bull and the Mercedes battling out there of Trucker and Atsu. And this is looking a bit like before. And what a move there from Mel Dave, being absolutely ballsy. And now manages to move up into 7th place, getting that overtake done at turn 7. And now we see, oh, the Mercedes and the Haas, King Panda. And, oh, and he collected Trucker a little there. Buckle's unfortunately not in his car. And, oh, we see, who's that? Is that Mel Dave? That was Atsu getting right out of shape there. Unsure if that was due to contact or not. And oh, Rhino's retired. So we're now down to 19 now. And Buckle, well, down to 18 considering Buckle's not even here right now. We'll move further back up to the front of the pack. Brad Racer, so looks like he's getting right close to that Williams now. We're riding on board with the McLaren of Brad Races, going around turn 4. Big lock up there from Ricky Maru. They're going into turn 5. That's not going to be doing nice for his tyres. Now looking at the gap, he's out of DRS range now, but it looks like he was gaining on him there. Maybe using up a bit of that battery to try and catch up to Ricky Maru. But Ricky Maru still staying ever vigilant. Moving further down there. Oh, and we've seen Stringy, Butler, Stringy, Thatchers and Floyd, it looked like Floyd got shoved right off the track there. Benji is around at turn 13. Now, was there contact? As we do know, it is a flat out corner, and these guys don't really like to chicken out, and actually turns into a little game of chicken. Who is going to be going for it and who's not? But looking up ahead, we're seeing Thatcher's going for the move into turn 1 on Stringy, and just as that happens, King 5 Panda makes full use of the disadvantage of Davey and now moves up past his teammate of Floyd, and now up into 12th position. Spectacular move there from King 5 Panda after not getting the best of starts and fell down 12 places. Managed to make up 5 though. Make up 7, sorry, and has only got 5 more to go to be able to get back into the position that they started in 7th place. And now looking on, Onsu has actually closed that gap to the leader. Now looking on this helicopter view, absolutely spectacular. Looking at like King Panda was going to be going for the move there, but decided he wasn't close enough. And I see Atsu there and getting past Davey Norris, I think there. Onsu putting in the fastest lap of the race, 1:14.594. King 5 Panda right on the back of Stringy there, and he is lagging a little, but looking on right now, Thatcher's and Steve swapping places due to that DRS advantage. And now looking on, is Atsu going to be going for the move? Nope, he's not close enough to get a move done. We'll move further up and we'll keep a watch on this battle for the lead. Right now we've got 4 drivers all within DRS range of one another, from Ricky Maru, Onsu, Brad Races and Mr. Formula 1. And is that a car round? That was just Floyd losing a couple of places there. Not good, not good indeed, I will say. We'll see Floyd still right close to the back of Mel Dave there, but of course it's not going to really matter here as the DRS is not going to be powerful enough. And now he makes a mess up at turn 9, and is this going to be the chance Benji needs? Around the outside of turn 10, spectacular move there from the McLaren, now moves up into 16th place. We'll go further up right now as it looks like Onsu is going for a move for the lead, and there we go, he gets past the Silver of Ricky Maru and now moves up into the lead of this Grand Prix. Looking on at Ricky Maru's fuel there, it's looking a bit down, and he's got a safety car as Benji has binned it into the wall on the final corner. Oh, and that brings out a safety car. Trucker jumping into the pits right away. Oh, and Trucker's retired also. That's unfortunate. So now we're down to 17, and we're going to see any guys come into the pits, any of these drivers. I suspect Butler, Thatchers and Buckle would, well, not Buckle because that's an AI car, so that doesn't really count, but if that manages to work, then they will most likely end up pitting. Night Flash and I think that was Steve possibly swapping places. Now let's see, is any of these drivers going to come into the pits? Oh, Onsu, they're pulling a little bit of a chicken, staying out. A little bit of a dummy there. Brad and I Fisher's jumping in, and Lewis stays out. Butler stays out. Oh, that is interesting on them soft tyres too. Night Flash in. Steve stays out. Thatcher stays out. Stringy is in. Atsu is in. Davey stays out. So does Panda. But the other half of Floyd does jump into the pits. So we'll have a quick look at stops right now, and we'll see how many of these drivers has actually done a pit stop. So we're seeing all these drivers that have just pit have all went onto the hards, bar I Fisher and Stringy. have both went on to the mediums. Ricky Maru could be sitting at a big advantage here on the rest of the field, having already pit, and is now technically in that lead when you think about it, as he has not got to pit again. That's going to be on them hard tyres, and I think they might do it till the end. Sorry. Anyway, for our folks, we're getting back underway now. Bucker's just joined the lobby there. And, we've seen Ricky Maru making up a place already on Thatcher's. And it's now moved up into 4th position. And it looked like King Fi Panda was having a little look at Thatcher's there also. But managing to hold off just there. And, we've seen the McLaren of Brad there getting right out of shape. We just see the other McLaren there just caused the safety car a few laps ago. And we're seeing a caution in sector 1, and that is Night Flash, who is around. Brad Race is getting right close to that Red Bull of Mel Dave and getting squeezed out onto the curb. And that has caused him to lose a little bit of spaces. And Buckle has retired from the Grand Prix. So he must have brought his car in there. Did not notice that, but looking on right now, Brad Race is going for that overtake on Davy Norris, going into turn 10, and now he is up into 9th place. Looking on behind though, Atsu getting past, Butler, getting past Davy Norris. Benji has left the session. Alright, he's not in the race anymore, so that's unfortunate. Floyd there being overtaken and given the squeeze, and has he got damage? No, it doesn't appear so. But I think we're going to lose another. Floyd coming into the pits. Have they got damage? No. This is unusual. Seen Mel Dave there, and Brad Race is battling out. Brad trying to get up into that 8th position. That Red Bull of Mel Dave not allowing it. Mel Dave coming up from the back of the pack to now be overtaken by Brad. And Thatcher's just loses a place to Fishers and King Panda also. Now, Mr. Formula 1, 1.4 seconds sets the gap between Onsu and Mr. Formula 1. Looking on right now at Ricky Maru, not close enough just yet to be able to make a move on the RB, sitting in second place. But one person who is Lewis on Davy Norris. Gives him a bit of a squeeze there on the outside. And it looks like that's allowing Atsu to get alongside. And, ends up going off the track, and we're going to get another safety car. No, we're not. He just manages to keep it, the car whole, well, at least half whole. And now Thatcher's is overtaken by Brad Races. Brad is actually on a flyer right now. You can see in the background there, the Mel Dave and Lewis battling out. Lewis going around the outside into 9th place. Nicely done there from the Ferrari for getting that overtake done. And Floyd's into the pits again, is he? I will say quite unusual strategies here. Looking on the scene, Stringy overtaking Davy Norris there. Unfortunately, not having an answer for these both of these Ferraris just there. Looking on right now, though, is Mel Dave going to be close enough to make a move? No, he isn't. We'll get back up to the lead pack right now. 1.7 seconds sets the gap right now. Ricky Maru not doing the best in terms of catching up to Mr. Formula 1. Mr. Formula 1 just being that little bit too quick compared to the Silver, but wait a minute, that is changing. You see the Silver gaining and gaining and gaining on Mr. Formula 1, and we'll go further down. You see Brad Races overtaking King Panda, and Brad Races is actually on a real charge right now, and is now looking on at possibly a decent podium here, but he has got to make another pit stop, and he has got a 3-second time penalty. And that's one thing you don't want at this stage of the Grand Prix. Ricky Maru now a lot closer to the back of that RB, and could be looking for a move going into turn 10. Get that one up, there we go. And he's just saving on the battery for now, and he'll most likely be going for that, going down into turn 1. It's the most easiest place to get an overtake done on this track, would have been the DRS advantage would have been so long, and then these guys do need to have quite a bit of downforce for these high speed corners. But look at that now, DRS so effective here, going right past that RB before the break, well before the braking zone, and now moves up into second place. 1.9 seconds sets the gap. 1.9 roughly is balancing on that knife edge. Mel Dave being overtaken by Davy Norris there. Unfortunately, Mel Dave's little strategy hasn't worked out just yet. These tyres are pretty much done, and the drivers who haven't stopped are the ones who are losing out right now. As you see, looking right now at the stops and the gaps, Onsu is struggling there. 1.9 seconds was the gap just a lap ago, and he's pulled in that gap about half a second now. We'll keep an eye and see how quick that gap is going to go down. I think he may be within striking distance in the next lap, possibly. And he's really going for it. He's now out of DRS range of Mr. Formula 1, behind. 1.2 seconds sets the gap. But has Mr. Formula 1? No, he isn't, but Steve does, and Steve manages to get up into third position. He's not got the best strategy set up right now, but still is managing to make full use of it in the race. Of course, not stopped just yet, and we're going to go further down. We see Thatcher's overtaken, being overtaken by Davy Norris there. Floyd and Mel Dave swapping places, as Mel Dave is into the pit lane now. moving further up. See I Fishers there getting past Mr. Formula 1. Now Mr. Formula 1 is sitting in 5th place. Them tyres not working anymore, and I think Steve is going to be overtaken by his teammate real soon. And just as I say that, he takes that inside line using that DRS to full effect, and now moves up into 3rd place on them fresher medium tyres. It was old versus new there, and he manages to get it done. And here's another battle of old versus new. And we've seen Onsu, who didn't pit, against Ricky Maru, who did and is on them hard tyres. Onsu on them medium compound. Mr. Formula 1 jumping into the pits now. Yeah, we've seen a couple of them into the pit stature also. And we're going to see an overtake from Ricky Maru coming up. I'm not sure, I don't think so just yet. Oh, and it's saying Onsu to pit this lap. That is interesting. So, if Ricky Maru just holds off on that overtake just for now, he could get the DRS going into turn 1 with some clean air also, and not having to make an overtake. So we'll soon see if Onsu is going to be jumping into the pits. He's using that battery, and no, he isn't. So it did show up there if we look down at the middle of the screen at the bottom, and I think that was his lap 2 pit, of course, usually, but leaves it a little later as Ricky Maru now gets past the Williams and moves up into 1st place. Onsu now down in 2nd, doing quite well on them old medium tyres, but I think this is their limit now, and I think it's time for them to come off of that Williams and go into the rack and be ready to give it back to Pirelli. Looking on right now is Stringy, being overtaken by Davy Norris. Davy Norris actually doing quite well for that Silver team, currently up in 8th place, and we've got the other Silver of Ricky Maru in 1st. So it looks like if things carry on the way they are, Silver are going to be scoring some decent points. Stringy pushing that Silver around turn 5. Atsu and Mel Dave swapping places. Oh, and Brad races, the other McLaren is off. Oh, and that's going to be a pit lane now. They're going to go to almost the back of the pack now. Looking on right now, Stringy right close to the back of Davy Norris here. And Brad, unfortunately, does retire from this Grand Prix. The Ferrari of Stringy going up the inside of the Silver. And they're side by side going around into turn 2, but Stringy manages to make it past and is now up into 7th place. Davy Norris is now down, but he is not taking it lightly, going up the inside, going into turn 4. He's going to have that inside line, and we see there on the left hand side of that Silver, that Ferrari is still there, and he has to slot back in behind. Davy Norris there, doing absolutely spectacularly. Just looking on at his teammate just ahead. They're trying to just keep within that distance. Are they going to be fighting for it? Onsu into the pits now. I don't think the good idea would be for Steve to fight it. But then again, he does. If they want to get some good points, then the best thing to not be doing is fighting amongst each other. Onsu now down, comes back out into 6th place. We'll have a wee quick look and see where it is they started. So they started in 3rd, and we're now down 2 places. Butler. Oh, Butler off the track. Going down the start-finish straight. That is unusual. What has happened to... And I'm unsure what has happened to Butler. If they disconnected? No, it doesn't seem like that. Is he back in? I think they are. Steve now into the pits off of them medium tyres. Got 16 laps on them. And he'll be moving down to roughly 7th, 8th place. That little battle that will be going on between Stringy and Davy Norris. There we go, see Stringy just coming across the line now. And Steve just coming out. And he's going to slot in behind there, behind that Ferrari. "12-lap old hearts for Night Flash. Mr. Formula 1 close to the back of Floyd here. He's on them 12-lap old mediums, and I think some of these drivers who are on the 12-lap old mediums, Fishers and Floyd, I think they're possibly going to try and go onto the softs in a couple of laps time, possibly. Maybe 3 or 4 laps at most. I suspect that a lot of these drivers will be pitting and jumping onto the soft compound tyre. I could be wrong, but you never know. Let's see. Oh, looking up Steve. Right now on Stringy. Steve on them fresh hard compound tyres, the fresher rubber. Now gets an overtake done on Stringy. And now moves up into 6th place now. We just seen Floyd jump into the pits. Was behind Night Flash there. But it's now pit and went onto them hard compound tyres. Oh, that's interesting. He's starting to pull out of that range with Stingy, the DRS window. Oh, Butler getting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Stringy jumps into the pits and is going to lose a couple of places. It's going to end up falling down into about 12th position, maybe 11th. Probably going to be separating both of them. Alpines, but Atsu just does that there. Now, where is Stringy going to come out? Let's see, is Atsu going to get the jump? Oh no! Oh, and Butler's retired in the pit lane. That is as unfortunate sometimes. These things do happen. Unfortunately, not having the best of race tonight. Getting yellow flag in sector 1 and 3, and that'll just be Butler's car returning to track before it pulls into Marshall's lane, which I've always found unusual. King Fi Panda into the pits now, getting off them 20-lap old hard compound tyres, and I think it's going to be a soft. Am I going to see red here? Oh, and that's the Alpine there on the exit of turn 2. Oh, he's jumping onto the mediums. The soft tyre's not that great here. Sorry about that, folks. Got a lot distracted by a message there. So I found out the buckle, it says it wasn't allowing him to control the car, so it DNF'd, unfortunately. Ricky Maru into the pits now. They have already made a pit stop, but they're jumping in again. Now, are we going to see red here? Nope, mediums, we've seen yellow. And I hate it when that happens. It always goes so smoothly. Looking on right now, is Lewis going to get an overtake done here? Nope. Ricky Maru still holds out that lead. And apparently there's only a tenth to separate I Fishers and Ricky Maru, which we all know is baloney. Night Flash into the pits, fits in medium tyres also. I would have expected a couple of drivers to jump in and maybe go onto the soft compound tyres, but Onsu now getting past Lewis for that third position there. Spectacular move around the outside of turn 5. That's not a place to see too many overtakes, especially around the outside. Beautiful. Now, this thing is glitched because it's saying Fishers is right up close to Ricky Maru, and we know that that isn't true, so this is absolutely fun, and we're just going to have to keep jumping back and forth until it fixes itself. Oh, I Fishers jumping onto them soft compound tyres. We're definitely going to see the fastest lap awarded to I Fishers if they manage to pull it together, that is. Lewis going on to mediums. A lot of these drivers maybe not having enough spare sets. Maybe not having the spare sets of softs that they need since they were in qualifying. Lewis now down into 7th place after pitting. Was in 3rd just not too long ago after being overtaken by Onsu. Night Flash and Thatchers and Atsu battling out there. Atsu and Night Flash getting up past Thatchers. Yep, but looking on right now, Thatcher's still fighting for that position, but not able to get close enough to order that overtake. Lewis right now is going to get the DRS from King Panda just up ahead. Lewis has now fell out of that DRS window and won't be getting the DRS that he needs. That is always unfortunate when you're that close and you just end up missing out. But now we're on lap 24. We've only got 9.5 laps to go. As Ricky Maru just came around turn 6 and 7. This is one of the closest battles on track right now. Lewis and then fresh mediums against King Panda on them slightly older mediums. So one person I will be keeping an eye on is I Fishers, who's sitting right close to the back of Onsu right now on them soft compound Pirellis. And Ricky Maru getting the fastest lap of 1:14.349. And I Fishers 1:13.736, so he's reining that gap right in. Now is Are they going to be able to do it? Lewis gives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. There we go, Atsu jumps into the pit lane. And that allows Thatcher's up into 11th. Oh, you see yellow flag in sector 1. Who is that for? Was that for Davey there? I'm unsure. I think it may have possibly been. Now, everyone has sort of separated quite a bit now. I'm going to take this opportunity to say, if you're enjoying the content here, there's other videos and streams from previous where where it's been myself and my usual co-commentator, but yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to make it here tonight. But yeah, if you like the video, give it a like, be much appreciated. If not, it's all good. But right now we've seen that the two Ferraris are the only drivers who have penalties right now, and Stringy is up 10 places now, so the biggest gain up to now. Oh, and I say that as he goes right wide at turn 9 and has to go right over the gravel there on the exit and loses 1.8 seconds. King 5 Panda is now close to the back of Mr. Formula 1 within DRS range. You see that Haas rear wing closing up as it gets closer and slams on the brakes for going into turn 1. As King Panda go for a move. Oh, you see Mr. Formula 1 getting right out of shape there as Ricky Maru puts in the fastest time, 1:13.653. So these times are really starting to ramp up now. King 5 Panda, are they going to be going for a move down into turn 1? We will be able to find out in just a moment as they're coming around turn 14. He's slipping into the back of that slipstream. DRS is wide open. He's not using that battery. He is charging, so he's just being careful and just keeping him within that gap, making sure that Lewis isn't going to end up being close enough to go for a move. Atsu getting a 3-second time penalty, not going to affect him as he's sitting 5.8 seconds in 14th behind his teammate who's in 13th, and that's all the drivers that we have left is 14. Yellow flag in sector 2, that is Atsu. And is that Ricky Maru round? No, I thought that was Ricky Maru round. That is the Red Bull of Atsu getting out the way for Ricky Maru. Oh, yellow flag in sector 3. Who is the yellow flag for? Atsu. Oh, Atsu decided to retire in the pit lane. That is unfortunate. you know, we've got a few drivers who are going to have to be careful as they're coming out of the coming down the start finish. As we do know, they'll only pull off at the exit of turn 2. And King Fi Panda now makes his way past Mr. Formula 1. I wasn't expecting that right there. My mistake, folks, but ended up missing that out. Night Flash looking up and eyeing a move up on Stringy, but not being close enough. Thatcher's now into the pit lane and is now going to be switching off and jumping onto them soft compound tyres. Fisher's made an error going around turn 9 and is now down in 3rd place. That has allowed Onsu to start to pull away by 2.3 seconds. He's not going to have a gap anymore, but looking on, he's on them hard compounds now and he could absolutely book it right now. And them tyres do have higher spare speed, and Fisher's crashed. Fisher's crashed going into the pits at wow, I never expected that, to be honest, but then Fisher sounds like going into the wall and then ends up on track. You see Lewis jumping into the pits, same with Mr. Formula 1. That'll be for a set of them Red World Pirellis for the final couple of laps. Oh no, it's another set of mediums, so we'll see what other drivers are going to be out. Lewis on them soft compound tyres. I'm actually surprised that more drivers didn't pit for the for a fresh set. And Mr. Formula 1 gets himself a drive-through penalty, and I pray that isn't going to be a safety car. That is, yeah, sorry about that there, folks. That is someone just being frustrated with things, but unfortunate in the end. But yeah, after putting such a good race in the throughout the Grand Prix, and these things happen, so it ends up ruining it for you, and yeah, pretty much buggers your whole race up. But Ricky Maru been commanding race for him. He's in 1st place still after qualifying in 1st place. Biggest gainer right now, Steve, up 9 places, currently sitting in 3rd by 9.8 seconds. Yep, the one-stop strategy for a lot of drivers proving to be the best, although Ricky Maru ended up pitting that a little earlier and getting a massive undercut, it seems, on the rest of them. Now we go on to lap 32, the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix, of this 33 lap race. We only got about 7 kilometre left to go, or if you prefer that in miles, about 4.5 miles left in this Grand Prix. Well, for Ricky Maru that is, as they're just coming around to turn 5 now. Not seen many battles close, and as all these drivers has sort of separated out a bit. Unfortunately, we've had 9 retirees tonight, some of them not having the best races, and some of them just retiring because of not having the best races. But yeah, looking on right now, Stringy, we'll keep an eye on Stringy with Floyd. He's going for the dive down the inside, and he just manages to leave enough space on the outside for Floyd, and now moves up into 8th place. What's Floyd going to say about that? He's only got about 20 corners left to go. How will Floyd respond here? And Floyd has actually run out of the gap to Stringy. Or maybe not, as Stringy ends up putting it into the wall. And Floyd goes past, so easy victory for Floyd there. That was a bit surprising, to be honest. But yeah, Stringy out this Grand Prix, and we have now lost half of the grid now. Is Thatcher still in this Grand Prix? Oh, there we go, that is the Ricky Maru comes across the line to take first. Second for Onsu. Now that's third for Steve as they're just coming around the final corner now. Yep, keeping it nice and steady as they cross the line. King Panda in the Haas. Imagine to get around the final corner nice and smooth. Comes home in fourth. Nicely done there from King Panda. Now we've got Night Flash, our newest driver there, coming home in fifth. Sixth for Lewis in the Ferrari. We've got Davey Norris there, getting a good result for the Sauber team. And actually, Sauber have actually managed to get the best points here tonight. And that was weird how audio just cut for me there. I'm not sure if that was myself or for the whole stream, but there we go. Seeing Ricky Maru up there with Onsu and Steve. Great results for all three of them there. Ricky Maru, fastest of the bunch, putting that 1:13.653, getting the fastest lap and the race win. And he pretty much sailed the whole race there. Onsu in second place there, up from third. Steve up 9 places from 12th. Smashing race for them. King Panda started 7th, finished 4th. Night Flash started 6th, up 1 place to 5th, 6th for Lewis, who came up from 10th. Davey Norris from 15th to 7th. Floyd from 13th to 8th. And then we had Thatcher's from 17th to 9th. And from the back of the pack to the back of the finishing order in the 10th was Mel Dave. Then we had Stringy, unfortunately, he was crashing out a couple of laps to the end, and Mr. Formula 1 a few laps to the end. The ones who did not finish the Grand Prix is I Fishers, Atsu, Butler, Brad Races, Buckle, Trucker, Benji Bucka and Rhino Jose. So they are the drivers who unfortunately did not manage to complete all the laps. But now, next week, we are going to be going to Monaco, to the lovely track of Monte Carlo, next Saturday at 8 o'clock. And that will be with myself. So that is going to be quite a fun race to have. So, everybody, thank you for watching. It's been all over the race and having you folks along. But if you like this content, please like, share, subscribe with any of your friends who like esports or anything like that. And until next time, from me, it is peace out.